Good morning, guys. Oh my god, what's up? Back. Oh, dog toy. It is like 8:45 and I'm about to get ready for work. So today I have 6 patients that I'm gonna be seeing, which is a lot of patients. Normally a lot of my coworkers would see at the most 4 patients in one day, but we have a new nurse that we're training, and so 2 of our nurses who were in the area that I'm case managing left, so I'm kind of like mixing my caseload with the LVN, but the LVN saw these patients last week, and so an RN has to see the patients every 2 weeks at least. So it's my turn this week to see all these patients. So my stress level right now is at I'd say an 8 out of 10. And we're gonna see. Yesterday I saw 4, so that's 2 more patients. 3 of my patients that I'm gonna be seeing today live in the same boarding care, and then the other 3, I think they live in different homes, but I will find out. I'm gonna figure out my plan first before I head out and then go and see my patients. So I think today I'm just gonna go and knock them all out, then head home and then chart at home instead of like stopping in between, because I don't have that mental capacity right now to like work on 3 then go see 3 more. So I'll see my 3 patients first and then go home and chart on them. So that's the plan for today. It's Tuesday. Alright guys, so stress level went down 7 out of 10. I planned out my day today is 9:30, so I have 3 patients that are in the same boarding care, so I'm going to be going to that one first, and then after that I'm going to go to another patient who's like a mile away, and then the last 2 patients is a couple more miles away, so they're not that far, and those are going to be the 6 patients that I see. Most of them have Alzheimer's, and that's usually the main diagnosis when it comes to hospice, because a lot of the times the patients end up just in that state where they don't even talk anymore. You have to constantly feed them, or you have to remind them to eat, so they're like forgetting the simple basic things. So that is the plan for today so far. So then when I get home, everything's gonna like chart. Another thing that I have to do is one of my patients has a recertification. So when a patient is on hospice, they're only on it comes in benefit periods, so every 60 days we have to recertify if they don't pass, saying like, oh, the patient is deteriorating basically. And I have one of the patients like that today, so I have to make sure that I have everything that I need. So let's go on and see our first patient. All right, you guys, my stress level, oh wait, let me put my music down. It is 10:50. My stress level is now at a 6, I think. I'm going down 1 every time I'm like seeing more patients, so okay, so I've seen my 4 patients. It is 10:50. I have 2 more patients to go. I think I'm gonna stop by on the way to go grab a little snack from us, like get an acai bowl, because I wanted to eat breakfast this morning, but like when I'm like super nervous, I avoid eating because my body is just so stressed out that I don't want to eat anything, if that makes sense. Like I don't have an appetite, but I feel so much better right now. I didn't even drink coffee because my anxiety was so high, but I'll probably have I'm not gonna have a cup later because my sleep has not been good at all. So I'm gonna hold off on that. I already feel like so much more better right now. So I have 2 more patients to go. I'm gonna stop by and get a little quick snack before I go, and then head out to the last 2, and then head on home after that. So I ended up getting an acai bowl. Mommy's home. Hi, big brother. How are you, my babies? I'm home and got home. It is, what time is it? 12:10. Clocked out for lunch already. And I'm gonna drink coffee just so I can like get in the moment and just like chart my life away. All right, I'm upstairs in my office, ready to chart on all my patients. So I'm just gonna write down a to-do list of exactly all the things that I need to do for the patients. I saw 6 patients today, so I have 6 charting. So charting on 1, 2, 3, so 6. Then after that, so when it comes to case management, while I'm there, this is what I do. I go in, I have to sign in on my check-in little thingy, and usually most of my patients are in a board and care. At least like 90% of them are in the board and care, and the other ones are in their home. They have a primary caregiver. And with those patients, they live in, like, a boarding care is basically just literally a home. It's a home that people own that they run as a boarding care. So the most patients I can stay in one is 6 patients, and then we have 2 caregivers. Usually the caregivers is like a couple, and they're my main people that I talk to if I have questions or anything, because they're the people who take care of the patients. And so when I go in, I say hi to them, ask them how they're doing, sign in, and then I see each of my patients. So what I do for each of my patients is I do an assessment. So first I do like my visual assessment. How's the patient looking, making sure that there's no issues that they're having at that moment. And then I go on and take their vitals. I assess their skin, I assess their feet. And then from there, some of them can't talk to me if they have Alzheimer's and it's late stage. Some of them don't understand English. Some of them are just very confused. I have a couple patients that I could talk to fully, and we understand each other and everything. But most of the patients that I have encountered are basically have dementia, Alzheimer's, and they're very confused. Some of them don't even talk. And that's basically what I do. After I see my patients, I just review their medications, make sure everything is okay, and then what is going on? And then after I review their medications, I have to sign in. So the company I work for, we have these binders that we sign in. So I would write a little, like, small little narrative in there, and then sign in on what day I came, and then I write the vitals and all that stuff. And after that, I'm done and I'm good to go. So I started my day off left my place around 9:30, got to my first patient around 9:50, and then I saw my 6 patients from there, driving around, got a little snack in between. I got back home at around 12:10. So in overall, it took me 9, 10, 11, like about 3 hours to see the 6 patients, and then now I have to chart everything. And it's, again, what I said, it's just writing a narrative for each patient and then charting my assessment on them. And that's basically it. So if you guys are interested in doing case management, that's what a typical day looks like. This is what a typical day looks like, but there are things that can arise. So sometimes my patients might end up being passing, like they're like right about to pass, and those visits require everyday visits, so I'd have to add that on top of my visits. Or sometimes I'll have to have a patient who's in acute distress, or they're transitioning, and there's just acute symptoms that we have to manage, unmanaged pain, patients who are having respiratory distress. Those are a lot of things that we come up with, and we have to be flexible. And sometimes you could be with those patients for a couple hours until their symptoms are under control. And if everything's okay and everything's going good and you're not having patients that are passing or nothing is happening, then this is how a day would look like. Normally, I wouldn't see 6 patients in a day, but since, again, I have another nurse training, we're kind of like covering each other for now, and this isn't like my set schedule. This is just how it's going to be. So tomorrow I'm going to see 4 patients. Thursday I'm going to see 4 patients, and then Friday I'm going to see 2 patients. So Friday is a low load. Today's a little bit different because I decided to see all the 6 patients and then head on home and chart. Yesterday I saw 3 patients, charted on them, and then saw the last patient and then went home. That felt a lot more stressful, and I like it better when I see all the patients and go home and chart, because I'm like charting on an iPad and it's not the same, and I don't work as effectively as I do on the computer because I just like have everything in front of me. I have all this space and I'm in my zone and I'm at home. So hopefully that's how it is. Oh my god, oops. So that's how it's been case management for 2 days this week. We'll see how the rest of the week goes, and I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, it is Wednesday, August 11th. Today's my mom's birthday. Anyways, that's besides the point. I forgot to bring my camera with me today, and today was a pretty hectic day already. So let me make sure I have my phone up. Okay. So what happened was, today I was supposed to be scheduled to see 4 patients, and then there was a patient there that we forgot about that wasn't on the schedule, so I ended up adding him onto my schedule, so I saw 5 patients today. In addition to that, I was supposed to go, or I was planned to go see and admit a new patient right now, but the patient ended up actually going to the hospital because the patient ended up having shortness of breath. And so we're still working on trying to figure out on admitting a new patient for today. And in the meantime, things that just like come up and around on your schedule that you may not know, and that's just how it is. Oh my god, it's so hot. Okay guys, like if you're gonna own a home, and if you're like one of those people that you're like, why do my parents never turn on the AC? Well, let me tell you why. Okay, let me tell you why. So it costs me $227 a month for electricity bills if I'm running my AC, and it's hot. I live in California and it's hot, and $227 is a lot. And this is for a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom home with about 1,100 square feet, okay? And it's expensive. It's expensive. And so I'm trying to keep my energy costs low and trying to save money, because I tried doing it this month and I saved $11. So instead of $227 last month I paid, this month it's gonna be $219. So that is why your parents don't like turning the AC on. If you're like one of those people, or if you're from a Filipino family, you understand the struggle of your parents not wanting to turn the AC on and just struggling in the heat at home because you want to save money, and I understand the struggle now. Anyways, I ended up, one of my patients actually that I admitted from last week, I saw him this week, and I was like, what's going on with this patient's eye? And this patient's eye was having redness and some swelling on the eye, and that was something that was new that I didn't notice the week before. And so it looks like the patient is having like an infection or some type of sty in the eye. So I had to deal with that, and then the patient suffered a skin tear to their leg. And a lot of patients who are our elderly patients have very, very frail skin. And so even just rubbing it or doing something to it can cause a skin tear. And so that happened, had to deal with it, put some triple antibiotic on it, and then covered it with a Band-Aid. It looked pretty good. The skin was basically like put back on, so it's not an open wound. Anyways, that's what happened. I'm still waiting on what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna chart on my patients. It's technically my lunch, but I'm gonna chart because I'd rather just like finish everything at once and drink my coffee because I haven't had coffee today, and then chart on my patients, get some orders in for my patients, get the okays from the doctors, text the family members, and submit my text messages for the team updates. And then we'll find out if I will be doing an admission today or if I'm going to be driving an hour away to go and admit a patient or see a patient. So we will see. I'm crossing my fingers low-key. Like, I hope that we kind of wait for the patient to settle down in the hospital before we like do a lot of stuff, but I didn't expect my day to go like this, but this is how things might go. It's like sometimes you just have to be flexible and figure things out. But that's the plan for today, and so I'm gonna chart right now and see what happens. Good afternoon. It is almost 12 p.m. It's Thursday. The week is almost over. So yesterday, Wednesday, I was waiting to see if I was gonna admit a patient. So, oh no, there's pee. So during that time that I decided to like take a break, I ended up getting a call. So the patient is actually awake and wants to get out of the hospital, and so I have to head over right now. I was about to take lunch, but no, I can't take lunch, but pack something to go so I can eat. So I'm gonna go admit a patient. I'd rather leave right now because it's not traffic, so I'm gonna go head out right now. So I was at the hospital and it was 3 o'clock when I left, and I was like, okay, well, I have about an hour and a half. The patient's getting picked up at 4:30, which isn't true because when you schedule an ambulance to come, they're not going to come at that exact same time. So the patient is actually getting picked up right now. So it's 5:07. And so I ended up going to Starbucks to kind of work on some stuff that I needed to deal with from this morning that I haven't dealt with yet. So I did that, and then I'm going to go to the patient's home right now, so hoping that the medications have been delivered. We're still waiting on the bed to get in there, and the family's gonna be there, so I'm gonna go in and help them with a patient. So that's the plan. I don't know how long I'm gonna do overtime for. So after here, I expect to be here for at least an hour, and then after that, it's gonna take me another hour 15 to get home, and then I have to complete my admission notes. It's gonna be another 30 minutes to an hour. So there's that. I didn't think I'd be doing this much overtime, which I don't mind because extra money means extra money to pay for stuff. So, this is weird. Okay. Good morning, guys. I am so tired. It is finally Friday. It's 9:03 a.m. I have 2 patients to see today. So yesterday, I ended up working overtime, and I stayed with the family until 7:10, 7:15, and then I still had to do all my notes, so I was driving on the way back home, and while I was driving, I was preparing my narrative notes while I was driving, and I actually ended up going to a park because my boyfriend was playing basketball there, and I told him to bring my iPad over there, and it was a lot more closer to go to the park than to go straight home. So I ended up going to the park and then finishing off my notes there, sending it in, and then I finally was able to clock out at 8:40. So I had about almost 4 hours of overtime. And then for today, I'm going to be seeing 2 patients, and these patients I've already seen before, so I know them pretty well. And also, what is it called? I still have to chart for my patients from yesterday, so that's 4 patients, and then I still have to chart my admission from yesterday, and so today's pretty cut out for me. I'm so tired. And then my phone broke yesterday, my personal phone. So what happened was, I went to Starbucks because I had to wait somewhere for a little bit before the patient was gonna get home, and I went to go pee in the bathroom at Starbucks, and my phone literally dropped right in front of the toilet, right by the toilet. And I'm like, okay, that people have peed and missed the toilet, so this is definitely, there's pee or something on my phone. So I was like, okay, the iPhone is water resistant, and I'm like, I can wash it real quick. So I run it under the sink real quick, and then I ended up water damaging my phone because of that. And so I spent half the day yesterday driving around with no personal phone, but luckily I had my work phone because if not, I would have been a fish out of the water. I would have been able to find how to get to my patient's place. And then that was a lot, but it was my first time yesterday dealing with family dynamics and dealing with a lot of family members who were still learning about the process of my patient's condition and letting them know that this is the patient's choice and is the best decision that the family could make right now, basically. And it was because this patient had metastatic cancer, and there's basically nothing you could do more once it gets to that point. And they're at the point where it's multi-failure system, multi-organ system failure, and that's where the patient is currently at. And you come a lot. I mean, actually, that's my first cancer patient that I've dealt with in hospice. So I don't know if you can tell how tired I am. I didn't even have coffee, but anyways, overtime, yay! But also, Alright guys, it's 10:50. I saw my 2 patients and I'm starving, so I stopped by 7 Leaves and I got a oolong milk tea, and then I'm also gonna get some dim sum right now because I'm hungry. And the dim sum place isn't open till 10, so I'm just gonna, oh no, it's leaking. Shit. So I'm gonna wait for this dim sum place to open. I'm gonna start writing some of my notes for my patients while I wait, and then I'll go home and eat. I'm basically taking like an early lunch. It's not early, but I'm gonna eat, and then the rest of the day just to work on charting and finishing up all my notes for this week. And then, yes, that is the plan. I always say that is the plan. I'm so tired, but I'm also hungry. And if I were to have this day like any other day, I don't even know what I'm saying. I constantly think about, like, okay, yesterday basically worked a 12-hour shift, and then think about going in the next day and doing it all over again, the same thing. I'm glad that today's a little bit different, and everything's just basically catching up on all the work that I'm behind on, which I like because the company let me send it. Oh, sorry, I got a text message from work, but just catching up on stuff. So there's some stuff that I'm gonna update right now and work on, so do that right now. Sorry, I have a big pimple right here, so if you guys see my pimple, please ignore it. But I just wanted to make another video just to end the video because I forgot to record like an ending video for last week. So last week was pretty hectic. That was the first time I actually saw patients every single day and did admissions, and it was a lot. So I'm gonna say I saw at least 20 patients last week and did an admission. So that is a lot of work. It was very hectic, but at the same time I think about how I felt during the whole thing. It was pretty stressful, and it's very hard to feel like as a new grad I'm doing a lot of things on my own, but that is how I learn the most. And I felt like if I had someone there guiding me through everything, I wouldn't be learning as much as I do. So there's still that level of concern, thinking like, am I doing things right? Like, I don't know, like I'm still in that point where I feel like I don't know anything, and that's what a lot of nurses tell me from the beginning. And like you just don't feel like you know what you're doing most of the time, but I'm doing my best. And there's just so many things that you need to think about as a nurse. And so far this week, I've learned a lot about that. But anyways, I just wanted to end the video with this and just thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you guys found this video a little bit interesting, a little bit helpful. But I'm going to try to keep doing this just to record my journey and to record everything as a new grad nurse, and especially working as a hospice nurse, because I feel like hospice is something that's coming along pretty quickly in the nursing community. I feel like not a lot of people know a lot about hospice nursing, and so that's why I want to document it, because I want to be able to show you guys different types of nursing that I never expected that I thought I was going to be in, and hoping to kind of show you guys and influence you guys to take on a different type of role besides taking on that hospital nursing, because I know a lot of people would be like, okay, working in an acute hospital may not be for me. So here, you guys can see what it is to be working as a field nurse. It's basically what it is. But thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate it so much. Again, if you guys need any help for anything, you can DM me on my Instagram at crazy___. I'll see you guys next week.